I remember that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another Sunday My Hero Academia manga stream. We got chapter 308. Been waiting for this one, which we have this big fight going on. But first, Mark, there's something that we always do. And what would that be?
Recap episode!
Okay, that's enough of that. All right, so previously it was chapter 307, and that dealt with some very familiar characters, actually.
Yes, indeed.
I'm trying to remember their names, though, as I try to also get myself out of this full screen.
I remember the guy's superhero name, which is Grand.
Yeah, and the other girl.
Her name is lost on me for a second right now. Like I knew what it was, but now it's like escaping me.
Yeah, let me if my computer will load up the previous chapter. There we go. So last time, it's kind of connected to when Deku was looking out into the city for the first time. He was like, "Oh, a giant villain." We cut to that 307, right? Yoshindo or Yo as Grand, and Tatami Nakagami as Turtleneck.
Turtleneck.
Yeah, Turtleneck, because exactly. They were tasked to locate any survivors of who are relocating at one of these towers, and they were just checking in on everyone. The civilians were not at all impressed that a couple high schoolers were there to check up on them, and that they pushed the idea that they could defend themselves and they can do it just by themselves. Shindo trying to push the agenda, saying like, "Hey, come on now, we're heroes here. Let us protect you." And they're like, "We don't need your protection." And like literally cut scene, and you just see that Shindo has not changed whatsoever.
Right.
I'm trying to remember like what that's some archetype that I recognize, but I don't know what that would be or who I can compare it to in other like works. But we have immediately following after that something to call for their attention. Muscular joins into the fray, causing a bunch of destruction. Really cool big panel for that one, where it's just him like slowly like grinding down on this tower as Shindo like looks up, like, "Oh."
He's like, "Oh fuck."
He's like, "Just the two of you, and that's fine. I just love it out here in the new free world." As Yo tries to take him on with his earth trembling abilities, and doesn't too well, because Muscular's situation is that he can literally just put muscle upon muscle on himself to just kind of like nullify that. And so now we have Shindo in a very like paralyzed state because he just went all out on this dude. He didn't go plus ultra. That's the problem.
It's true. He did not go plus ultra.
But just in time to save him, we have Deku coming in, mask on. All you see are the pupils right now. And he says, "Muscular, no wonder the gift from the Force wouldn't shut up." And Muscular responds, "I know that voice."
I know that voice.
Well, what was it from Lazy Town where it's like, "You ever heard the sound of a ball like breaking a window? Would you like to?"
Would you like to?
I was like, bruh, that dude's on a different level. But yeah, so that's pretty much it on 307. It was pretty simplistic on as far as like the cut for cut, but the build-up was really good as far as like what it shows up at the end.
Yeah, right. All right. Hold that thought while hold that thought really quickly while I just open up chapter 300.
Why you do that? I'll just go get another thing.
Okie dokie.
Not Blues says hello. Welcome back.
Okay.
right now we are just about to jump in onto My Hero Academia Chapter 308. The usual format here is that, unfortunately, for the most part, I don't really want to show like the contents because that's a big bad head. So what we do is actually we just read through the panels and we give our thoughts about them and kind of give our, I guess, our impressions on it. We kind of describe what's going on to the best of our ability. But how are we, Mark? Oh, I'm sorry. How are we, Mark? Do you have the chapter loaded up?
Ready.
Okay, so let me start it off. So we have the first page, right? This is Deku. He's holding Yoshindo. Spoilers, by the way. As he holds them, Yoshindo can't do a thing right now since he just used Earth Tremoring. Deku looks down on Muscular, and down below, again, you only see one pupil. As he has obviously because of the mask, he has a very like unreadable like expression on him. But Muscular continues on. I'd never forget you. It's really you, right? Right?
I'd never forget you. It's really you, right?
Yeah. That was a pretty short one. Let me go ahead and continue with this one. Again, I can't imagine like what people like on Horikoshi's team have to go through when it comes to Muscular. They got the news of Muscular, they're like, oh lord. Oh lord.
This next panel made me laugh a little bit.
Okay. Midoriya! I missed you, little guy. All these pathetic whims just don't measure up. It's not enough. Nothing from Deku. He's just like...
He's looking ready for a fight.
Yeah. He's like, not so fast. Don't run away. He's just grabbing some gravel and like just mushing with his hands. It's not like that. Wait, yeah, it's not like that. You got me all wrong. I ain't out for revenge or anything so dramatic. The way I see it, going wild with my quirk is all I could ever ask for. But I'm only human, you know. Oh my god. Go ahead and mark on this one.
On the next page after that one.
Mm-hmm.
You taught me a new meaning of fun back then. As it just shows Izuku back in his first fight with Muscular.
Yeah.
And that was the point of no return. As he just puts in a piece of like just crushed gravel for his eye.
That's weird. Like that's just weird, dude.
And then bam, he just jumps off. Although he couldn't jump high enough. Just, he didn't jump high enough. As Muscular just hits the window and goes, bah!
Oh shit. Sorry. I'm trying to watch it like on the desktop. But it literally froze on me, so I'm just gonna resume it like on the phone. Go. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
And he goes, bah! And then if we go to the next page after that, we see he just freaking tossed this building in half.
Bruh.
Let's go at it. Full power. Midoriya.
That's a wild thing to look at.
This man he just straight up threw a building in half.
He split that building like it was lasagna.
He really did. He flipped the table.
He did. Without the legs.
Exactly. How you do that?
You can do anything if you're muscular.
Right.
But let's see. We see from the perspective of everyone from the tower, right? They're saying, like, what's going on? I can't see with all the smoke. How's that boy doing? Very convenient, right? Deku, in the middle panel, actually, like, drops to the ground. Safe landing. Has Turtleneck approaching. Glad you're here. Take care of him, okay? Turtleneck grabs him. Yo, how could you be so dumb? Deku just like is gone, but he says, "I'm sorry I didn't get here sooner. He needs first aid." Or actually, no, he's in the dust. That's what's happening. Darn, so many buildings already got wrecked.
Absolutely.
But let's see. I go ahead and continue this one. This one seems to be
Sure.
pretty mild, but yeah. So we see a little bit more of Deku. He's activating Black Whip right now. He says, "But no damage from here on." Turn Knight's like, "Right. It's hard to see through the smoke. I swear I know that voice from somewhere. Who is he?" But he's gone at that point. He's like, Death Angel joins us. Hello, Death Angel. How are you doing? We're currently
Just a
reading
warning.
the My
We
Hero
we are
chapter
we're
that came out today.
Yep. Just spoilers in case you don't want to see it yet. We're reading the new My Hero chapter just in case.
Yeah, just in case. But yeah, Deku just dashes off like through the dust. He thinks to himself, "Was that too much?"
All right, I got this.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you spread your control too thin. That's too much of my smoke screen. Got it.
Yo,
He's just like, got it. Just because now we learned that the sixth user, his quirk is smoke screen.
cool. So wait, so when we actually see that, it kind of looks like a mix of like white, like puff smoke instead of like your usual like gray, like smoke screen.
Like it's thick white smoke. Like like a ninja. Like
Yeah, yeah, that's dope.
didn't I mention how it could backfire if the opponent gets the drop on you? Yes. One for All's influence has really opened the floodgates. Keep in mind that the greater power has been built up across 8 generations of users.
God,
It's a
could you
massive.
imagine? Yeah, just like conglomerate like amounts.
Absolutely.
Oh, Kristoff's rating with the party of 4. Thank you, Kristoff. You're just in time.
Kristoff!
Whoa, we're kind of like we're just starting, so
Warning! Spoilers for anyone who doesn't want to see the chapter.
mm-hmm.
Give you 10
Let's
seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
okay.
You want to take this
Where
next
were
one,
we?
Justin?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you just finished the page. Thank you, Kristoff, for the subscription. Chapter 302. Wait,
We're on chapter 308.
yeah, it says it should say chapter 308 on the title. Let me
Unless
know
Justin
if it's otherwise. Okay. I guess I'll continue with this one. A lot of like thoughts going in this one. So, it's a massive unwieldy power, as is the Knight's user. Of course, you're feeling the brunt more than any of us. So, in times like this, try to relax a little bit. Our quirks are mostly standalone abilities that never really rise to that level of ultimate moves. It's almost like you have too much respect for these quirks. Instead, think of them as simply tools in your arsenal. Approach the problem strategically and use your tools to put them together in a plan.
I like this look because in this page you see that because he doesn't actually have these items. These are not real items. These are
Oh,
what he's picturing them.
oh yes, okay. The
So
like
for
right
his
now they're
smoke,
giving an
these are the
illustration
flames.
of the quirks as just tools.
Yeah, like he's got rope around him. He's got a walkie-talkie. He's got a jetpack, and he's got like flares.
Right. That's really
So
cool.
so he could visualize using them as tools to make it easier to use.
Okay. And I guess that makes sense. They just talked about how like as a ninth user, there's a little bit more of that than would normally be the quirk.
Right.
Yeah. All right. In that case, go ahead, Mark, on this one.
All right. Next page. Muscular. The man who is still standing after taking on 100% smash. No, I'd never forget him either. He gets on the ground. The sevens float. I can limit visibility with the six's smoke screen and guide him toward me. Got to dig up the memories of that night and that battle. Go to the next page. As we
It's
see
like
Muscular
woof.
trying to fucking go in against Midoriya, and Midoriya's using his danger sense to dodge it all, as we can see.
That's nice.
Midoriya! As Izuku is just dodging all of this like a freaking Spider-Man.
hmm
The fifth, Black Whip.
Black whip. Oh
He's
man.
doing so good with these right now.
Oh, now okay. That's when I see like a full spread panel like right here. Okay. That's why I was like, oh, I assumed that he was dodging with Fort Sense, but then when I skipped over to the next page, I was like, okay, all right, that makes sense. That's crazy. He literally just he black whipped like wrapped him around and like tossed him around like Spider Man. Really.
Isku's gotten really he's getting the hang of these really quickly.
Hmm.
But that's also because All Might had him trained in advance.
This is also true. He's also been like literally talking to them like as they're fighting.
Yeah, and they're helping him out, like teaching him, kind of like Aang in the avatars.
This is true. But I think this is like the most active like in comparison.
Yeah, like Aang couldn't all they couldn't just pop up and talk to him. Like he had
He
to
has to
actually go into the
meditate and
spirit
actually
realm.
talk to them that way.
Yeah,
But okay. So after that crazy spread, we cut to this page where he's like, Muscular's in the water. Cheap party tricks. What's the deal? See, and Zeku starts off conversation. I know Shigaraki and All for One released you. Where are they now? Who knows? They just told me to go wild and left me on my own. Why ask about them when I'm right here? You're bumming me, bumming me out. And these little gimmicks, boring. Come on, let's have a rematch. Mano a mano. No holds barred. Go ahead,
why?
Mark.
Why do you rage like this? I just want to live without regrets. Regrets, such as not indulging and having fun every chance I get. Was there really no other path for you, Goto Imasuji? Nope. So we learned Muscular's real name is Goto Imasuji.
Hmm. I was trying to link like when did they mention like his name, if any indication?
It might have been like in the police report and everything.
Okay. Okay. So the next page, Muscular's on the approach right now. You trying to sympathize with me or something? People peddle that crap somewhere else. Because all you find in my soul dot 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 is blood and violence, but in the middle of that it's like, oh, I see. That's the reason why Deku was giving off like a little bit of small talk here and there. As like these words kind of echo. If I'd known, maybe things would have worked out differently.
If you're trying to understand them, you could have
He's
helped them a
trying to
different
actually
way.
understand like why they're doing what they're doing to see if there's anything that could have changed about them. After all, he is trying to follow the idea that he wants to save Shigaraki despite everything he's done so far and how he's currently shown himself like externally to everyone as far as I don't really care, I'll still destroy everything type of mindset. Even knowing that Nano was actually a predecessor as well.
Mm-hmm.
But should I go with this one too? Or do you want to go with this one?
You can do this one. It wasn't very long on yours.
Fair. Okay. We still have like images of Shigaraki, like with little Shigaraki as well. Um, this someone who has hurt many people is someone who has killed others. Um,
Izuku getting ready for a charge.
yes, he says, seems like this fight is inevitable as he prepares for that. But at least I want to learn what makes him tick deep down. Yeah, you turned out real boring, kid. But something happens. All of his
All
muscles
his
just
muscles.
split as Deku continues. In the gaps between those muscles, coat yourself with page. Um, I guess go ahead, Mark.
The strands depleted of energy tend to rip and tear away. As we see back before, we see we see when Izuku was fighting him before. He didn't
Hmm.
jump high enough. A guy who shies away from tactics and strategy wouldn't purposely jump to a lower floor like that. And I noticed how your muscle armor is uneven in spots. I guess someone's been honing those vibrations in the meantime, huh? Meaning
Mm,
that those vibrations did way more than Muscular thought.
yeah, it's like
It was just delayed.
Hmm.
Like they could only take it for so long. Sneaky little. As we see, Muscular's like sneaky little as it looks like his muscle fibers are either tearing and trying to repair, and you just see a fist sink into his gut and dash by this. And we turn to the next page. We see Imadoria in the water just zooming by. Is also my full power.
That was clean.
That's a nice panel. That's a really nice panel.
That was really cool.
He ended it in a single punch.
What a what a shift from like in sheer contrast to like the first like initial fight.
Oh yeah.
And given like Deku's like arsenal back then with just 5% to his name, like this is a lot.
Oh yeah. Especially the fact of now, like he just hit him with all these different abilities.
And though a lot of them didn't really do much, like the Black Whip was, it really didn't seem like much. He was just like, yeah, whatever. But first, Deku wanted to talk to him, right? That was pretty much it.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Izuku at least wanted to understand what made him tick to see if he could just find a way. Because a lot of times, some people, it's because no one tried to understand them. Like no one tried to help them in a way that could have done something. So that's what Izuku was trying to do, but Muscular's just too far gone.
Right? So I'm trying to like analyze the fight by itself because it's pretty simplistic, like from start to finish, but a lot of in betweens on observations, conversations. He really like, I mean, aside from Black Whip, the Jesus Christ, dude, this throat thing is like the most annoying thing because it only happens during this.
Exactly, only during this, and it seems that whatever has happened with Izuku since talking to the predecessors, he's gotten a lot stronger and a lot better.
Yeah, no, it was just the Black Whip and then the punch. So shout outs to Yo for actually contributing a lot in the grand scheme of things. Because it just opened him up. And Deku did not hesitate.
Oh no, Izuku say yeet.
So good. And also we found out about the other predecessor's quirk, Smokescreen.
Yep, that's his quirk, smoke screen. So we've got a sneaky quirk.
Mm-hmm. So it leaves another one left.
Technically, there's still two.
So it's the spike hair one, right?
Spike hair.
The guy with the spiky hair.
Yeah, there's still 2 and 3.
Yeah. Actually,
good lord, drink some fucking water.
Have you not been seeing what I've been doing? It does literally nothing. I'm gonna give me a second. I'm gonna use the bathroom. Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. So where were? Well, yeah, I was just talking really briefly about the works. One Smokescreen, the other one, don't know actually.
Yeah, 2 and 3. We don't know what 2 and 3 are yet.
That's true. I am starting to remember that. Like, oh wait, the guy who covers like his mouth is actually the one who actually was sitting in one of the chairs.
Yeah, he was the one that Banjo gave his quirk to. Or he gave All for One to.
Yeah.
Or One for All to. Blah.
Just oh my god, dude. Like I can't wait to actually see this animated because they got to do something like drawing parallels to this versus the previous fight because especially since Deku in the previous fight was kind of in a panic because the circumstances was that he was trying to protect someone but he couldn't like escape him. In addition to that, like his attacks wouldn't really do anything. But now Deku not only was able to escort someone to safety and deal with like Muscular later, but also keep distance from him, be like super fast, um, and just strike like real quick too. Although I will give credit to Deku, like from the beginning, like or on the initial fight, because he was still kind of smart enough to be like, okay, well, like my attacks can't land because he's faster than I am. But what if I actually got in between like, one of his muscle fibers and then do it?
Mm-hmm. And he figured that out during this fight because he's gotten more tactful, and he's also a seasoned veteran now.
Yeah,
With experience comes strength. So that's the thing. He's just gotten a lot better. Kristoff.
yeah, I saw that too. That's why I called the what should we call it? The other Discord group that we have specifically for like myself, you, and Christoph. But it's alright. It's fine, Christoph. I know that like when you finished up your match, we were already starting the chapters, so it would have been kind of weird. So maybe next time, we'll see. All I know is that this, first of all, Muscular is so like deranged to the point where he'll use anything for an eye at this point.
He's just too far gone, bro.
He's really far gone.
Like he said that
But
after that fight with Midoriya, there's no going back.
to be fair, Midora gave him like at least one chance to just kind of explain himself.
He said, "You sure?" He said, "Are you sure there's no other path you could take?" And then addressed him by his name, and he just said, "Nope."
It's like you gotta respect though the conviction on that. Oh, uh, yeah, Christoph. Just to clarify, what he put in his eye was just a thing of gravel,
Yeah, he literally just crushed it into the shape of a fucking eye.
and of course that caused irritation. So his eye socket right there is bleeding. So it's like,
But then again, that could also just be his actual eye.
I mean,
Like it could just be
he's.
those scars.
I was gonna say like
Because
he's put a lot
it's
of
an
things in
open
that like
wound.
eye socket. So I'm thinking his eyes like far gone at that point. Christoph says, "Boy, that's gross." I know the
Man,
bacteria and whatnot. Bruh.
that's metal as fuck.
The sediment. Bruh.
The sedimentary rocks.
So wild. Just like how far like Deku's come. Like since the beginning, he had like full control over the fight.
Oh, absolutely, he had complete control over the fight.
I mean, this kind of almost goes without saying is that this feels like a Spider-Man fight,
It really did feel like a Spider-Man fight.
but in ways Deku seems like he has like better options. Aside, I mean, obviously the quirks, but it's just simply like his like his abilities, just straight up.
Absolutely, like Izuku is he's just come so fucking far.
And it's unfortunate that like we're seeing this under like a different like set of circumstances where it's him just walking away from everything. So he's kind of gotten like a kind of a vigilante vibe to him, but
He's
he's
still a
also
hero.
acting
He's
in an
just
emergency
by
right now.
himself. Well, technically, he's not even by himself.
Technically, no.
He's with the he's with well the users.
But the
He's
users
gonna
are
have
pretty much giving him jail free cards like right now. Like
oh yeah,
they'll support him no matter what.
and he's gonna have to find. And that's the thing. Izuku will be the last user unless he can find somebody else. Like unless he can find another quirkless individual.
I'm pretty sure he'll spend a good amount of his like time finding that like after everything's died down.
Like once it's actually necessary.
Yeah.
Because All
Matter of fact,
Might
I don't
lived for
think
like
like even when it's necessary, just simply passing it down.
because All
But
Might did it for 40 years.
yeah. But what else was Kristoff saying? He was saying like really cool how Deku was encouraged to use his quirks as tools Because I
Yeah,
think yeah,
like
that's just a better way to like I guess yeah to like really imagine it because I don't know like
well,
if you've
because
seen
it's
like
like
even
if you do it like that, then you understand like, okay, if I just picture these as tools, I won't overdo it. Like I won't put too much thought into it.
because what they're really interesting, kind of taking a quick side tangent to another show, Invincible. The way that Mark Grayson in that show is encouraged, like this is when Omni Man's training him at this point. He just discovered his powers like the night before. And he's like, okay, well let's go through the methods of flying. So what was it like? You have to like flying is also like a muscle, and like it's hard to really imagine that because at a certain point, like he tries to teach him to relax. Um, talking about how like you spend a good amount of your time learning how to not pee yourself, so you'll never pee yourself. It's impossible.
Oh
So,
yeah.
and also talking about how like as far as creating leverage for yourself, like when you fly, like you create your own leverage, and that's kind of hard to even imagine. So to you just to think of like the quirks as tools in this case, it's a lot easier to picture. Also, smokescreen. Yeah, I agree with that, Christoph.
I like the smokescreen quirk a lot.
It's super cool, and dude, this reminds me of that like WWE like low clip where people will like do some like whiteout, and then all of a sudden it like cuts into like a smokescreen effect where like one wrestler comes out of the smoke. So funny. Do you think All Might, as Christoph, could only vicariously use the other quirks? That's hard to really think
I
about.
think no, 'cause just think, All Might didn't really need to.
I
All
mean,
Might
yeah,
was
he's
just so strong, he was able to just rely on his own strength.
yeah. The it's yeah. It would be interesting to see him use it, but I guess
I
because
don't think like, 'cause just think, All Might said he as far as we're aware, All Might like when Izuku told him that he talked to them, he was like, "Scary."
hmm.
Like, he was like, "That's weird. I didn't do that."
What was that? I've never, but I guess because it never was needed.
It's also because Izuku is the one that they've really ever been able to talk to. Like, he's kinda the first that they've been able to really
And
connect with,
that's because of the circumstances too.
especially, yeah, with, All For One trying to get in there, that he made an even stronger connection between Izuku and them.
Yeah. Um, you know what? It's kind of like if you were to imagine like, in The Legend of Korra, book 1, it was at the end. It's how she unlocked airbending.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, like, when they locked all of her other bending away, airbending got unlocked.
yeah. So I'm a I kind of still stand on the stance that that's kind of a weird way to like unlock something. Um, but not only was it that she couldn't have access to any other bending, but the necessity to utilize whatever you have deep within kind of like surface. So in the case
Well, yeah,
of
it's
All Might,
because
he never needed it,
she
so
yeah.
therefore it never like awoken.
Yeah, it's like that's the same it's similar principle to with Korra. You know, she knew fire bending, she knew water bending, she knew earth bending. Those all came natural to her. Airbending did not, because airbending is a very peaceful, it's very flowing. It's not as strong or brutal as the other styles. Like
Yeah, just kind of
the
matches her
airbend
personality.
yeah, airbending is based on the martial art Bagua Zen. Bagua Zen is all about redirecting your opponent's movements and flowing like the wind.
That is really cool. And that's and kind of chaining the tangent towards like Aang too. Um, able to do water perfectly. Earth, not at all. But once he figured that out, fire was easy.
Like fire, his issue was controlling it.
Yeah.
Like he could do it fine, but controlling it was a different story.
This is true because like fire was like the next thing he like tried to learn, but it was like it's kind of out of order. Hang
And he got traumatized after he burned Katara.
he did, yeah.
It was an accident.
It was an accident, but he did push it.
That's true. And she said, "You might not want to do that. I would do it. Don't do it. I would do it."
I'm a Vegeta.
And of course, there was also like I'm interested to see what they're going to do with the new Avatar Studios.
Oh yeah, that too. Oh, but going back to
Before we do
the
that,
fight here.
before we go back, one last thing on the Avatar stuff.
Oh,
Remember that one? Did you ever hear that one rumor about there being twin Earthbenders?
wait, what thing about Twitter?
Twin Earthbenders
Twin Earth Benders. I
for
haven't heard anything
Avatar,
about that.
like an Avatar that is twins.
After that sounds wild. Also, hello, Low Decade.
I don't know how I'd feel about that, honestly. Because I feel like, yes, that could be interesting, but I also feel like that would kind of. Would that make sense?
No, I see what you mean, because like when an avatar dies, sorry, this is weird. It's My Hero chapter, but we're having this really quick tangent. But with the idea, like if an avatar dies, obviously the next, like, just a random like child is born within like the cycling element. But what if
Yeah,
it's
that
a
is chosen.
twin? So
Yeah, a pair of twins.
that's interesting. That'd be
It's
dope
like
as
you think
fuck.
it would
But
go
like,
to. I feel like if they did that, then the only way to explain that would be like one can bend two elements, the other can bend the other two elements.
that'd be interesting. But to say that both twins inherit it would, um
Be weird.
it would tie in the idea that it's a genetic thing from the parent, but that isn't the case, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like just selected like on a whim, that but like whoever decides that, it's up in the air.
Yeah. See, I don't know how I feel about that because I just feel like it'd be like, don't you think that would just kind of like go against the theme of the Avatar?
Right. Yeah, I'm on the side. I'm on the idea of like what Krista had like just recently. One kid just is full avatar, the other one's just normal. So it wouldn't
I
really
mean,
matter
that
even
could
then.
happen, but from what I've heard, it was like a thing of twin Earthbenders, to where I was like, I don't know,
I think it's one of those things where I would literally talk to like the actual like creators and just elaborate on like the idea whether we come to a conclusion or not. It's like, what do you think would have been like if there was like, let's say, triplets? Do you think that would be like divided, or it would just be just selected amongst those three, and they'd be like, I guess it would depend on like which one actually learns the bending element,
although
because
I think what,
not all like children actually learn bending
yeah, I
that
also feel
way.
like with Korra, I thought Korra was all right. The thing is that I also felt like it was unfair to Korra in the sense of it's really hard to live up to Aang's legacy. It's really hard to live up to the original Avatar.
Yeah, this is true though.
It's like because I think Korra was a decent series, but I think there were certain things they did that I didn't like,
I
like
like I
resetting
like
the
that
whole
it was a
damn
different
cycle.
direction, for sure. Like,
It, I was kind of mad that they just cut the connection. I was like, why?
nah, it has to be edgy like that, angsty.
Better hope she writes the shit down that she remembers, because guess what? Ain't no fucking talking to anybody now.
He's pretty much starting the cycle all over again. No big
Except
deal.
the only person they'll be able to talk to is Korra.
I'm pretty sure. Well, there's
Even
probably
if
some
that,
records.
even.
That's something she could do on her pastime. Just like visit other places that the other ones went to and be like, oh, you guys got some records I could just jot down on Deku's notes.
She just spends the rest of her life writing this down because she fucked up.
How she fucked up?
Well, I mean, it was also the dark Avatar. Like, I understand the balance of light and dark, but the dark Avatar felt like, where did that come from?
How I fucked up. A chronological like collection of self memoir stuff by Core.
Like, am I the one that felt like the dark Avatar, while it makes sense, was kind of out of nowhere?
It was out of nowhere. They made some weird decisions because of the fact that it extended itself.
I was like, the dark Avatar. I mean, it makes sense, but considering the balance of dark and light, but at the same time, it's also like, that feels like something that should have been introduced in the first series.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry about that, guys. Any last things about the chapter itself for My Hero?
There's literally no hints about what could happen next, so I think we're good.
Yeah, I think in the most part, like it's pretty much wrapped up. The way I see it, like even though we don't really get to see like a 100% like strike, whatever like Deku does, was a specific like concentrated like attack at one of the openings.
I'm wondering if he propelled himself with float.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, like he can carry his own momentum still, like because there's a difference between him like jumping forward and then him jumping but using float to just put and carry him forward.
Yeah, like I said, if he was to combine his speed and float, he's gonna be like a fucking missile.
Yeah, I would love that
That
idea just because it's remember like when All Might like initially tried to get away or not get away, but he was gonna leave, but then Deku was like hanging on with him, and now that's
Yep.
not at all float, but Deku can now just simply do that.
Like I just imagine that the way it looks like it hit, it looks like he took off like a fucking rocket.
Yeah,
So I just imagine he might have combined his own speed with All Might's strength and float. I'm
so
just
cool.
because we saw. I'm wondering what the quirks are for 2 and 3 because we saw the pipes on that. We saw pipes on number three's arm.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what that is. That's part of his quirk or that's a costume design.
I'm trying to see right now. Um,
2 and 3 look like they were more cut out for battle.
you know how there was the panel where he uses like his like the illustration for tools.
Hmm.
I'm trying to look on that page if there's any additional things that might be snuck in there. There's a smoke screen. There's flow. You can see Black Whip being seen. The communicator is a little interesting, but that can also just be like,
I think that's Danger Sense.
yeah. You're right.
Yeah, there's the rope for Black Whip. There's the communicator, like the walkie-talkie for Danger Sense. There's the smoke flares for the smoke screen, and then there's the jetpack for float.
Hmm. So I guess for now we don't have much that we could like look at. Um, but we do know he had the conversation with 2 and 3, and that has not been like shown at all.
He pulls out a gun. Like I'm thinking, he's got to get at least one drastically offensive quirk. At least one.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, a secondary one. I mean, Black Whip can be that dangerous too, but you know that's because of like One for All's like secondary thing,
Yeah, the power enhancer.
power enhancing like literally everything.
Like that's why I'm just thinking like he might not, but I could see him getting at the very least one more very offense focused quirk
And that's gonna
because
really could be interesting because it can literally be anything.
we know one had pipes and one had the other one had gauntlets. So I just when I see gauntlets, I think something either for defense or offense.
Fair, yeah, right. And then, but the one with the engine, that's that might be something inherent to speed, but like Deku doesn't really need that either. So Horikoshi would have to like decide on like how that would be, how would that
Like, I'm
be
wondering
needed.
like what could use pipes besides speed?
Anything
Heat.
that emits heat.
That could be a heat based quirk.
Here we go, the fire breathing. Let's go.
Could be we already have smoke screen, so it wouldn't be steam.
Did I ever tell you I became the Dragon of the East? I
The
don't really
dragon
want to hear
of the
about this, Uncle.
east.
No. I think you want to hear about this.
But the dragon of
Bleh.
the east.
Yeah, I really do want to see that, but yeah, Deku has not inherited either of those quirks, so it's
We might see more on them later on.
yeah,
Like obviously we're gonna see more on them in the future, but like maybe later on the next few chapters.
yeah. So I mean, if anything, to get out of like like what you could expect from the next chapter, um, at this point, I'm pretty sure that Deku did like really good damage to Muscular to knock him out at that point. Otherwise, we might see the fight carry on a little bit more. Or like if it's already been resolved, Deku would have the decision whether he wants to stick around, check if everyone's okay, or just leave the area because he's kind of technically on the run.
Yeah, sure, he is kind of technically not even supposed to be doing what he's doing.
Yeah, and he knows that there's people who are going to try to find him. Specifically
Both,
Bakugo.
both good and bad.
This is true. You know, I think we might even see like a cutaway to Class 1A and see how they respond and what they might do.
Don't go by yourself, you damn nerd.
Right? Aizawa will probably say something too. That'd be really interesting to
Solid Snake, yeah.
see. Solid Snake over there.
He do look like Solid Snake now.
And I would also love to see the follow up on that conversation that Hawks and Genus had with All Might to see how do they add that into their equation of planning things out.
That and when are we get that and whenever we're gonna see fucking continuation with Toya.
Yeah, I would really like to see. Yeah, I think it'll just like they'll focus on Toya first, and then they would have to focus on Deku. So we're seeing like building like arcs being built up like right now. So we may not get the immediate answers soon.
Like they set up Toya's arc already. That's set up. Like we're just
Oh,
waiting for that one to happen.
Christoph talking about heavy vigilantes parallel right now.
Oh, absolutely. I'm honestly expecting to see the Crawler at some point.
I hope so, because from what I read up, like he's really good now.
Hey, yeah, Crawler's really good. I mean, Knuckle Duster could come in if he wants to.
Okay. Yeah.
And then of course there's there's Pop Step.
Yes.
Like the Vigilantes manga is really good.
Yeah. I'll
It's
have to
almost
like
over.
find a way to catch up on all those other chapters.
Like I think
But,
they actually are in their last arc right now.
wow.
Like I know, I just know
Okay.
that it's
Yeah.
gonna end really soon.
I'm looking forward to that. Like because my hero
Once
is
it
going to
gets an
be going
anime.
on for a while.
Oh yeah, my hero is dead because I mean that's the thing. Kishimoto, who wrote Naruto, he's encouraging him. He's like, dude, I want you to aim above and
Keep
beyond.
going. Keep writing.
Kishimoto's like, I want you to keep going. I want you to aim for Oda.
Damn.
I want you to go for Oda levels of success.
Yeah. That that would be really cool to see like my hero like carry on. Like One Piece ends and my hero still keeps running.
Take the torch.
When you say right.
When you say right, you say right, you say run.
Jesus. I have to go beyond.
Plus, ultra.
Yeah. All right. I think that's pretty much it for the chapter then. Again, it's a really good one. This is a pretty condensed fight, but there was a lot of stuff like packed in as far as like
Oh,
the
absolutely.
technical factors.
Absolutely.
Really sheer contrast in the fight from the initial like encounter versus like now. The battle experience like comes in like real tight on this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let me give you guys a quick rundown what's happening later today at the very least. Sunday fight night at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We're doing Street Fighter. Um, I just had it set up. I got Street Fighter 5 on Steam, and that's running on the gaming PC. That's good. That's linked up to this PC that's running the stream right now. So it should be a really nice, smooth looking one. So I can't wait to see how that looks like on stream.
If only I hit a PC that could run Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, and it works with
If
Street
only I had
Fighter
a PC that
because it
worked.
does do crossplay. So, um, yeah, it should be fun. I should still be able to like play with other people if
Is
people
there
are
crossplay
down
between
for it.
PS4 and PC?
Yeah, so you know how like when you go into like some versus matches, well, and I wouldn't probably know this, but there's an indicator showing like, oh, you're playing on PC, and then you'll actually see like someone's icon, and you'll see like a desktop icon, and with like a monitor and an actual tower.
Oh yeah, like on Apex, you see that too.
Oh yeah. I was thinking about trying out Apex like on PC, but that also means I would have to like pick up on like specific like strategic stuff like from there. So I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. But we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, hey, a nice thing about trying to get into Apex. It wouldn't be a bad time.
Yeah, no, like I'm you guys are really digging in on Apex lately. So I'm like, I mean not lately, but now
It's always more fun with friends.
for sure.
I mean, you and Kristoff got that dub not too long ago.
Yeah. What else was Crystal saying? Also, y'all see the no excitement in Deku taking him out. Yeah, he's so like conditioned. He knows that he's not. It's not just about like seeing people are winning here. He's seeking
He's
something
trying
else out of
to.
the fight too,
He's not trying to win the battle. He's trying to win the war.
because he knows that a lot of things are at stake, and like everything he does going forward will have like quite an impact.
Yeah, it's because like he knows. I should really just focus on trying to like fix the problem at the root, not just try to
Try to
finish this.
win or
I should,
save.
yeah, I should try to see if I can deal with the problem before it becomes an even bigger problem.
Yeah.
Like if there's still time to save them from doing this again without killing them or locking them up, that's a big win.
Hmm.
That's a huge win in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, yeah, no problem. All right, you're saying?
Oh, no. No, I was just reflecting on that stuff too. Like with it used to be so simple. I'm not gonna go with the obvious Kingdom Hearts joke, but it used to be a very simple thing for like Deku or
Good
no,
versus
just
evil.
heroes. Like when you grow up, it's just like, oh, heroes win. They fight battles. They see people. That's it. But for Deku, it's a lot more than that right now because there's a
Hmm.
root of evil that he needs to like uproot, and it's it's heavily integrated through the society. So he has to
It's
like
also
actually wave through
it's
that.
like that thing of it's like what people will criticize, and I mean I do kind of agree with the criticism of like where it's like with say like with our not to get too political, but with criminal justice reform in the United States, it really is more along the lines of throw in jail, get out of jail, and then life is just really hard. No, you don't see a lot of trying to help people who have done wrong or trying to be right
Hmm.
now, trying to help them back into society.
Yeah, like you don't really hear anything about like what they're trying to do with as far as actually reforming. It's just all you know is that they did time, and that's supposed to be it. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it's
sure
like there's not
there's got to
really
be
another
people
step.
like right that like do counseling and just check in on these people, saying like, hey, what's going on? Like, how are we feeling?
Yeah, but I was like, it's like it comes with a certain stigma.
Yeah, I get that. People like Muscular's like quite the archetype for a villain. So it wasn't too shocking like how Deku was still talking to him and nothing was getting through to him.
Yeah, he gone.
He's gone. He's just trying to find enjoyment out of everything. So I mean, literally for him to change would require him to be absolutely deprived of any type of enjoyment and literally like lose himself and be broken down before like any sign of hope popping up. But
Yeah,
Deku, what
he
Deku's
really
saying is
just
that this fight was inevitable because he needs to be stopped now, and there's no way to reform him like
yeah
like
he
here
tried
and
to reform
now.
him, and there was like ain't nothing there.
Yeah, which is like in this case, like there's different ways to neutralize them. Where it would be like fighting him, or like maybe in what was the other guy? The one that with brainwash. That would have been a useful one in this case. Actually, in most cases, really.
Most of them actually. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I guess we'll go ahead and end it here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned later tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific time for Street Fighter. But otherwise that's pretty much it for today. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next stream. Wait, do we have a date for the next chapter?
It said the I think it said at the bottom.
The 18th. So it's a week.
Yep, next
Jesus.
week.
But if they want to take a break, that's fine too because this one's going in as well.
Of course. I mean, it's like, hey, if he feels like he's good to go, he's good to go.
Hmm. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Hashtag bye everyone.
Let it go.